the greatest team first player in the history of the world. Anybody know who that was? That was Jesus. There ain't ever been somebody who thought more team first than Jesus Christ did. Jesus went through pain, suffering, ridicule, was hung on a cross, and he did nothing wrong. And he went through all of it. And he didn't try to find a loophole to get out of it. Why? Because his mind was stuck, centered, focused on the team. You know who his team is? You. You're his team. We're his team. The church is his team. He was thinking, one of my favorite worship songs has a line in it that says, as you knelt in the garden, was I on your mind? That carries so much power to me. He was thinking about you when he went through everything that he went through. And he did it for you. We're supposed to have the same attitude that Jesus had, like Paul says in that first verse we read. The first step is to start thinking team first. And a lot of times the division that you see in things like the Battle of Gettysburg or with the Titans right now, with people at each other's throats in that way, a lot of times the root of that division comes from a me first mentality. Not a team first mentality, but a me first mentality. And where does that come from? It's the devil. It's Satan. And he's throwing these lies into your ear. He's whispering these lies into your ear. He's trying to get you to ask one question. You know what that question is? And I've asked this question before, but what about me? What about me? You forgetting about me? You might be talking to God when you say that. You might be talking to a parent, a friend. What about me? I can't think of one single time that Jesus said, what about me? Not once. His mind was always on the team first. His mind was always on love first. Love one another. One of the greatest weapons that Satan uses to wreak havoc on our lives and in the church is division. He throws in divides in between. And it's not like he's cutting the building in half. That's not what it is. He throws these divides in relationships. He turns us against each other. And that's his goal, is to turn us against each other. Because when we're too focused on fighting each other, when we're too focused on each other being the enemy, this guy's my enemy, that guy's my enemy, this guy's my enemy, all of a sudden we lose sight, we lose focus of who the real enemy is. And that's exactly what Satan wants. So when we get caught up in the mindset, the divided mindset of what about me? This person hurt me. This person didn't do this for me. This person didn't show up for me. All of a sudden, you're doing exactly what Satan wants you to do. You're falling right into his trap. He wants us to think that way. That's exactly where he wants us. In Ephesians 6, chapter 6, verse 12, it says, for our struggle is not against flesh and blood, people. It's people. Flesh and blood is people. But against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of the dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. That's our enemy. Satan and his entourage. And anytime we feel like a person is our enemy, anytime we feel like somebody has wronged us just because we don't like that person, that person's they just rub me the wrong way. I don't really like where they're coming from. It's not the person that you're upset with. It's the lie that person believed that hurt you. It's the lie that person believed that turned you against them. It's not the person. It's the lie. It's the enemy. Our enemy is not flesh and blood. Our enemy is not people. And what happens when we forget this? What happens when we lose sight of this? Galatians 5:15, Paul lines it up pretty clearly. If you bite and devour each other, watch out, or you will be destroyed by each other. You remember what Coach Boone said at the end of that clip that we just watched when they're at the Battle of Gettysburg? He said, if we do not come together, we too will be destroyed. Coach Boone knew it. That division wreaks havoc. Division destroys. Doesn't matter how much talent you got. It doesn't matter how good you are at something. When you let division creep into your heart, you will be destroyed. It's not about us. It's not about me. It's about him. And the cool thing about that, guys, I love this. I'm really just starting to learn this for myself for the first time. But the more you make everything you do about him, the more you think about him first, think about Jesus first, all of a sudden y'all loving people becomes pretty easy. And it's because it's not us loving them. It's the love of Christ in our heart that is shining on other people. Jesus had nothing but love for people. He had nothing but love for you, for us, for me. When we place all of our eyes, fix our gaze on Jesus, all of a sudden we're able to love the way he loved. But the first step in order to feel that love, in order to act out that love, is we've got to be in his word. We've got to know who Jesus is. If we don't know who Jesus is, how do we have the same attitude as him? The only way to know who Jesus is through his word. So the second attitude we're going to focus on today is excellence in all things. Excellence in everything. Remember Coach Boone said he wants perfection in every aspect of the game. Everything. He wants perfection. Now, I'm not saying that as we can start to walk in a direction of flipping the page on Vinings Church, as we start to adopt a new attitude in our lives, that we have to be perfect. What I am saying is we should strive, we should shoot for perfection. Because if we strive for perfection, we fall in excellence. In Colossians 3:23, Paul says this: whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. Anything you do. So maybe it's in this church, maybe you volunteer somewhere in this church, whether it's in the nursery, it's with the kids, it's up here on the worship team, it's in the production booth, the production room, wherever you're volunteering, wherever you're helping out, everything you do it with excellence. Do it like you're doing it straight for Jesus. Whatever you're doing at home, whatever you're doing at work, even if it's not directly pertaining to church, guys, everything you do can still be done for Jesus. And if you hear that phrase, if you hear that statement, and you're like, I'm thinking about a couple things, a couple of habits of mine, a couple of things that I do that I don't really see how you could do that for Jesus. I don't really understand how that could be done for Jesus. So I ran into that wall too. Whenever I was learning some things and I came across that verse and that verse sat with me and I was like, man, there's some things in my life that how am I supposed to do this for Jesus? You know what I was told? I'm gonna tell you all the same thing right now. If you can't figure out how you're supposed to do it for Jesus, odds are you probably shouldn't be doing it anyway. Odds are that's not what you should be doing.